All right, so I'm rewatching the Netflix series Love, which was I don't know if it's completely created by Judd Apatow, but I know he's got his fucking fingers in it. Um, so you got Gus, Mickey, Birdie, um, Randy, and honestly, we'll throw Chris in there. I mean, I don't know how I can't remember how fucking I can't remember the ending. I just remember the ending ends on like not exactly a cliffhanger, but like a maybe they'll stay together, maybe they won't. And I think that was kind of like the message of fucking the whole thing entirely. Like just like it's very love is just a very. I mean, it can be a very complicated thing, especially because just everyone's got their own problems or their own issues that they're still working on, and either have total control of it or don't. Mickey is a lot more of the chaotic, kind of just I don't know. Just obviously there's a lot of they show at least a little bit of an example of how her upbringing was when they bring in her dad for that one episode. But she definitely a shit stir for sure. Sometimes maybe just because she's bored. I mean, there was a moment where like everything was going to get like good or going well, and then she like started like criticizing Birdie's relationship, which is just like yeah. So, but we start seeing Gus as obviously in the later season like a lot more. I mean, especially with like I would say that the ex fiance is probably like one of the saddest fucking episodes. It ends on such a sad fucking note. So anyway, yeah, Gus is just a very he's a lot more innocent, but he's got a lot of his shit together though. Like he's got a bunch of friends, he's got a job, doesn't get taken seriously at all. So it's not he's got a lot to and Mickey, she's kind of forced to have to change her life because obviously her life is a little bit more. It's causing her a lot more problems just based on natural reactions or natural actions. I don't know, just natural tendencies. So I mean, I guess in a sense, like it is kind of nice to see. I mean this in a good way because typically it's always the man's all fucked up, but the girl's like fucking perfect. So it's kind of like the reverse kind of thing. But in which I mean. At one moment, I was going to stop watching it because you got to like some of the conversations, some of the dialogue is just like, there's no way in fucking hell humans ever have conversations like this. No one is ever, this like fucking like interested in someone's anything. But, they make it, what some kind of like gestures at like the fourth wall or whatever with Wichita saying it's campy and like not everyone's gonna get it, or that there are some people who do understand. So you just kind of take it as like it's just a very performative play of sorts. They're just characters playing. They're just a lot of these moments are just fleshing out these characters their thoughts without them having thought bubbles essentially. And obviously a lot of these other things that happen sometimes like that. Anyway. I'm on like episode 6 of season 3. I mean, I'm pretty much nearly. I think it was like 5 episodes left or something like that. I mean, I can't remember. I hope that Birdie and Chris get together. They're pretty fucking cool. Randy, I mean, he's once again, this is like almost very much the same as Mickey in terms of just like this emotional wreck of sorts. But he's also kind of like a blending of Gus and Mickey, where he's got like these like very innocent. He's very unemployed, and he's very, I guess, apparently very talented at cooking, but has no interest at all in financially supporting not only himself but his relationship, which obviously you can't. It's nearly impossible to be in a relationship unless one person is definitely like willing to throw down more weight to keep it afloat, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't know if you add more weight to a fucking anyway. There's definitely some moments for like the immigrant journey with Birdie. I mean, you see. For her birthday, for example. I mean, that episode where I'm so fucking happy that she got to fucking go and do something at least on her birthday. And Chris was once again like, that's why I just like this guy. It just seems, but who knows? Once again, who knows? I can't remember. I just can't remember. But it's just because Randy's he's got to fucking, that dude he needs to grow up and he needs to literally look in the mirror. Mickey sometimes doesn't look in the mirror. Gus, I mean, once again, we're seeing now like some like Gus once again a lot more of like a childish and just not, anyway. So, and once again, like I don't know how close or how likely. I mean, I guess there are people that like. In terms of like he's got a bunch of friends that literally come together like each week to make fucking not a shitty song, but like because obviously that's I guess a bit of the joke that on the outside looks like a shitty song, but it's like a bunch of people just fucking around and they're just like they're just having a good time. So like what's the why shit on it, like why shit on their parade? So, and once again, like I don't know if that's even like something that actually like that's a real. I mean, I guess you could take like a lot of people like with like video games or anime or manga or stuff like that. Like there are those fan bases that kind of have a similar, like they meet up and they fucking, do things that on the outside would be considered very fucking like cheesy or or dorky or whatever the fuck. But like if they're having a good time, like why the fuck yuck their yum in a sense. Going back to that one ex-fiance when his Gus's ex is like literally her head's on on a pillow, but like using his body as like further adjustments to make her to help her sleep. I guess I think I said that a lot better. I just anyway, and he maybe there's a chance that, but obviously it's a good thing he didn't fucking act on somebody who was fucking inebriated, but well, I mean, he didn't. He also, as far as I know, he doesn't like. I don't think he ever like. I don't think she comes back in the show. I could be wrong. I don't think she comes back in the show to stir up shit or whatever. I think that was pretty much the shit stir, and once again, you got Mickey who's fucking complaining about the whole thing, even though like she totally has something that Gus, if he found out, would be definitely immensely hurt by, even though they weren't technically official or whatever. And, it's just that kind of like. Just, I mean, I know, let's like, take a step back on like the fucking, I don't know, like the actual structure of a relationship, you know what I mean? Like you are with this person and like you feel immensely for them, and yet like they apparently say they feel immensely for you, but then they go and have sex with somebody else or something like that. So it's just like two different fucking perspectives happening, two different feelings, one saying this and the other one. So technically that first feeling must be lying, or maybe you could take it as like a more of a polyamorous, sorry, I was gonna say anyway, polyamorous kind of relationship maybe, but that's not what this was supposed to be, more monogamous. And once again, we're about to see, we'll definitely there's definitely a fallout with fucking, because I don't think it ends with fucking Mickey not saying shit or Gus not finding out about that. With Mickey cheating on, well, not cheating, but sleeping with one of her exes. Which that guy is such like, that guy is like, I don't know, man. Anyway, but I mean, it just they're both fucking dorky character. Gus and his act. I don't remember. I think it's Dustin. Both fucking like very dorky, but in different ways. Like this fucking masculine, like, but like this. I don't know what the fucking. I was gonna say Fox. Fox. That's another word other than Fox. Like not fake, but like Fox fucking masculine. Like just like. I don't know, man. But like, there's a lot of fucking guys nowadays that have this like fucking like, I gotta look manly and fucking act manly because I am manly and being manly is what. Anyway. Now I'm trying to find like better descriptions other than masculine and feminine, but like Mickey is a lot more. I guess some of the fucking other words that they suggest were strong or crude, whereas Gus. I'm trying to like once again because I don't want to throw in gender here. Because once again, like this is a gender breaking observation once again, or obviously a thing that they incorporated in the show, where Gus is very sensitive and Mickey is, I don't want to say masculine. I wish there was a better. I literally, there's crude, there's fucking. I've tried going back. Hold on one second. Yeah, there's robust, sturdy, coarse. And then strong once again, which is once again implying that women aren't strong. So I just don't like that. It's very like it's kind of fucked up. Like there isn't like another alternative, but like feminine. Once again, like feminine tends to be like a lot more sensitive or a little bit more. I don't know. They even fucking like I think they said like fragile, delicate. Anyway, it's nice to see the gender dynamics, the gender stereotypes being kind of reversed. Because, like, it's just nice to see, similarities instead of so many fucking differences. Because, like, I mean, a lot of times differences are what cause fucking a lot of division. Unfortunately, I mean, it sucks that, like, you can't have different perspectives or different cultures or different fucking without people fucking, having a fit. But, I mean, sometimes I guess it makes there's a bit logic to it if it's like fucking a religion that's saying if you don't follow a religion, you deserve to die or something like that. Or even a fucking religion that says that if you don't follow this religion, then everyone else is, they're not going anywhere or whatever. It's just like pretty fucked up. Like if you want to break it down, so men were hunters, and now this is gonna sound different, you guys, swear to God. Men were hunters, but also because women were a lot more valuable in terms of like being able to continue the species and producing children. Men were definitely disposable. It's just nature if you really want to be real about that kind of shit. And since now we are in a place where we don't really need hunter-gatherer shit, like we now have the option to do whatever the fuck we want. We can be who we want to be, what makes us feel comfortable, where in the past when we were surviving, because we were fucking like, at one point we didn't have a permanent setting usually. At one point, as humans, it was just easier that way. That was the jobs, and things change. So once again, it's just nice seeing fucking. I'm a fucking sensitive dude. Why can't men be sensitive? Why can't women? I mean, the other way. I don't want to say masculine. I wish there was another fucking. There has to be a better way. I literally am on thesaurus.com or the Merriam-Webster fucking dictionary thesaurus fucking website, and I'm not fucking the only thing I fucking. So it's that's unfortunate. But anyway, I digress. Yeah. So like, Birdie and Gus are kind of similar. They're both kind of pushovers. They're kind of a bit. They're both a bit sensitive. But Randy's also kind of sensitive. I mean, I would say the most mature one. I mean, they're all kind of mature in different ways, but they're also very childish in different ways, which is very human. And I mean, watching them break up or end, seeing it was going to end, but then they get together and stuff. Once again, it does show a very human quality. Once again, that sorry for repeating words. Sorry, I just fucking forgot what I was saying. But fuck ups, like you can fuck up a bunch of times and it's still not too late. You can still be in love. You can still have love. That's a very beautiful thing. But like once again, obviously there's a boundary breaker for sure. There's you can overstep your boundary. You can overstep the line or whatever the fucking phrase is or whatever. Make it it's just unforgivable, irredeemable, deal breaker, whatever you want to call it. And once again, as far as I remember, it kind of just I think it just ends with them in bed, and they're just kind of, they're together. It's a neutral time, but obviously you can see that there's a chance that it could end. They have reasons as to why, and I think part of love is fighting, to stay together. Like, cause you want that, and you're even if you have to fucking argue about things, even if you get in fights, even if you need space, time away from each other, silence, that idea of like just asking yourself, do I still want this? And maybe you have to write down like the pros and the cons, of the situation, but yeah, I don't know. That's the reality of the situation. You can't. That's autonomy, man. Like this person might just choose, I want to be a different gender. I just want to, I actually like, the same gender or whatever, or I like whatever, what the fuck ever, or, whatever the fuck, things happen. People make mistakes, people choose to indulge, people are tempted, people are addicted to things. So once again, like, I keep saying once again, with the alcoholics, is it Alcoholics Anonymous, or it's AA, and then there's also the SLA, Sex and Love Addiction Anonymous. I think that's what it. But the just to show the spectrum of addiction in itself. You know, it's very wide ranging. It's not just fucking drinking. Obviously, there's narcotics. I think NA. And there's plenty. I'm sure there's plenty of other fucking anyway. And there was one. You always forget that it's fucking supposed to be anonymous. And then when he obviously breaks the anonymity, when Gus breaks the anonymity to Mickey's dad about Mickey's sobriety. Yeah, that makes once again. I'm glad that wasn't a deal breaker. You know what I mean? But like a lot of times, sometimes that stuff could be deal breakers. You don't know what is going to hurt an individual to make them no longer want this or want the same thing as the other person. And maybe you don't even know if they want the same thing. That's the other thing. Like you are gambling in a relationship, in any new relationship. You don't know what you're gonna get. So, and it is a snub at that one. I can't remember the fucking guy's name. The one radio host psychologist. I can't remember his fucking the doctor who's like a fucking fraud or whatever. And just tongue in cheek that like someone who knows about love. I mean, I don't fucking know. I mean, dude, my relationships have been like I don't want to like. I'm not. This is just me fucking talking about a goddamn TV show. And I'm just exploring just what I've learned and what it makes me think, like the things that I've thought about while watching this show. That's simply, so I am definitely not a fucking expert in this kind of shit. So I'm just telling you what I've gathered, the information that I've gathered. Okay. Now, I don't think I'm going to need to finish the show again to come to the conclusion that I've already come to, which is once again that love is decided. It's a consentful, I don't know, consentful fucking thing between whoever's involved, and you gotta both want it. And sometimes, I don't know, it's very hard to always just like know the right, what is the issue or whatever. But like, I guess the grand thing is like, do you still want this? And if you want it, why? And if you don't want it, why not? Or, if you want it, what is the issue? And if like, that, if they just keep kicking the can down the road, that's, I don't know, how much of it can you handle before, it breaks you, you fucking just can't take it anymore. And you just, once again, that deal breaker. So, and, that's love is not, it's not permanent. You want it to be permanent. You want it to feel like that, but it's not. Because that's the other thing, people pass away. That's the other thing. People have heart attacks and strokes and seizures and fucking fall off cliffs and fucking get ran over and get hit by cars. And a lot of times not even their fucking faults, man. So that's another, like, just like, being grateful, not taking things for granted before it's too late. I think that's another thing. Like, once again, I'm in the part where Mickey, she should have already told Gus, because you're just stringing along. I mean, maybe there's a chance that over time, like, that's the thing that with a lot of people, like, that they cheat on somebody and then you find out 20 or 30 years later that they got cheated on, and like, at least you got to spend the 30 years. But once again, you had that fear over your head the entire time. And like, there's a lot of like, I think like the soulmate kind of thing, like that is someone that you choose. Like it would be beautiful, and maybe neither is that one person or whatever, but like, I think that like, it's just about who you decide to choose, and them also deciding to choose you, and then going from fucking there. And I guess another thing that I'm thinking about is that you just, what's that Pepper song, or by Butthole Surfers of Pepper. Hold on, let me listen to that song real quick and let me fucking quote that shit. You never know just how you look through other people's eyes. Like, Gus needs approval or acceptance, or reconfirmation for the things that he does sometimes. And Mickey just constantly sees herself as a fuck up, but Gus, like, he's a fuck up too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like all these characters are fuck ups. You know what I mean? They all fucked up in Randy, once again, like, just a fucking mess of a human being. Like, he's a very lovable person, but he's got some, he's a bit unhinged, and so is Mickey. Mickey's a bit unhinged. I mean, especially in season 1, some stalker shit, and it's just interesting once again, because it's good that they do, because that stalker mentality is like, it's not healthy, obviously, but at the same time though, like, you two have to like sometimes reinforce your feelings to somebody or to let them know, like, and like, I guess, I don't know, I don't know, it's a very shaky fucking thing, man. Because if you don't, you know what I mean, if you could, you're easily fucking hurting the situation otherwise if you do something like that. So, like, once again, like, maybe it's not best to do, stories where the stalker gets to fucking be in love with the fucking person in the end, but the truth is there are a lot of people that they just want love and they don't know how to manage it and be involved in it in a healthy way, because there's a chance they never grew up around it, and that's not taught in school. There's a lot of things that is not taught or taught in school. A lot of things they do not teach. Sorry, I fucked up. Or that are not taught. Sorry. OCD. So it's if you do get in with somebody and you're not prepared, that's the other thing. It's just I personally have a fear of even getting into relationships because I don't think I'm prepared or ready, and I would really not want to bring someone else down. You know what I mean? But at the same time though, it does show, there are some people that are willing to, give you some time to get your shit together, or that if you are in this situation, that it could actually heal you or help you out in a way that if you would not be able to on your own, or not be able to heal on your own anyway, without help. So, I mean, they end it on a bit of a cliffhanger. So it's just do they end up with each other? Do they not end up with each other? Because anything could happen. I mean, Gus got close to being married to somebody and it didn't work out. So, I mean, it's nice that they throw a lot of these angles and, these thoughts, these things, these events, these experiences together. Once again, it doesn't answer all the fucking questions of love. And I don't think you get a conclusive, this is what you have to do and this is what is going to happen if you do it this way. Because once again, this is a fucking TV show. So, it's a lot of fantasy. But it's a lot of it is feel good. But I will say this is a pretty good, in my opinion, it's a very, though chaotic, though, once again, it's problematic at times, the things that one goes through for love, or fucking Courage the Cowardly Dog says, the things I do for love. So I'm on season 3, episode 9, and I hope this is the last thing I have to say, because like I said, I'm pretty sure it just ends kind of on a cliffhanger, will they, won't they, and they've already kind of gone through a whole lot, and as I mentioned, it's what someone's willing to do for love, and so they talk about love within relationships. They have love within friends or friendships, and then love within business endeavors. The boundaries and what's right and what's not, the balance, and sometimes the gray area in between that. So we're learning a little bit more about Gus, and right now he's treating his friends like shit, even though he has a lot of love for, or a lot of passion in regards to his interests or his dream of finishing this movie. Even though, it's just a first movie for him, so, but at the same time though, he's taking it way too seriously to the point where he's hurting people's feelings, and as far as I see, he's not even apologizing for it. He's, I guess, just seeing it. He would just monitor the situation afterwards, but as far as I saw, he did not apologize, and I hope he does. I'm pretty sure he does, but if he doesn't, then I'm pretty sure he does. I just, in terms of all this, I imagine he's gonna apologize for all the self-centeredness that he's going to be putting out, even though, once again, he's such a general people pleaser. In this moment, he's almost where normally he's at a 0% in terms of selfishness. Sometimes he's at 100% right now. Or selfishness, not so he's at his 0 for selfishness, and right now he's at like 100% for selfishness. Or maybe like, I'd say 80 to 90, 93%. I mean, he's even asking like, people for, business people, with Arya, for example. Anyway, so, and then Birdie, it's nice seeing that Birdie and Chris are getting together. Obviously that's like, now there's a whole lot of fucking messy situation between friends and relationships and that. So it's kind of like a mirror version kind of ending where, there's still turbulence with Gus and Mickey. Mickey has yet to reveal what she's done, which once again, I'm pretty sure that happens. And this is supposed to be just a quick little review. It doesn't mean like, I'm not even supposed to I don't want to go too in depth. Yeah, so, once again, Gus, not a perfect person. He's a people pleaser. He's got sometimes like emotional needs of a child in terms of latching on. But Mickey also, she's a shit stirrer. She, at times, in the very first season, she was a stalker, and then also she's, I guess, is she, I guess in the grand scheme of, I guess like for a purist, yes, I guess she's a cheater, and maybe she has cheated in the past. I don't know I can't remember if they revealed that, but in this regard, they weren't, I think, exactly official, but I guess in a sense, like it could be seen as tainted love because it was like, like she wasn't too sure or whatever. Or once again, like it just, I think when addiction is very hard to control, impulse control is very difficult in general, but like addiction in any way is very hard to, you can't just, it's an addiction for a reason, you know what I mean? So, I think hopefully this covers pretty much everything. As far as I said, like, I hope that Gus, fucking I'm pretty sure he figures out and realizes he's an asshole. I think Mickey tells Gus and they're able to figure it out. And then I hope Birdie and Chris stick together. And Randy, hopefully he kind of figures himself out a little bit more. But, yeah. Okay, so I'm on the literal last episode. Of course, why did I think that it wouldn't be like, it's just not filler episodes or whatever. So, Gus, when you realize it, he really is as equal of a fuck up. If I didn't already mention that, he's as equal of a fuck up, but he's a lot more of a quiet fuck up. Episode 11 really, when he airs out all of his problems, all the things that he's done wrong in his life, at least, in his adult life, I guess. His family doesn't really fucking say anything. His dad really doesn't give a shit. I don't think we even get a response from any of the siblings. So, obviously his family's a lot more, very repressed, I guess. Technically, once again, I have about like 11 minutes left. Technically, Mickey still technically doesn't have to reveal that she was seeing her ex because they weren't an official thing. So, I'm sure it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but I'm pretty sure it fucking happens. There's 11 minutes. Chris and Birdie are together. Birdie and Randy have broken up. Randy's acting like a child. Once again, he's not ready for a relationship. But at least he has a job. So at least it's something. And it seems like Chris is now getting the job that he's always wanted. And then Gus is now, finally getting closer to that writer, director of movies kind of job or career. So that's kind of cool too. Also, shotgun weddings are probably really not a good idea. You're literally getting involved with a stranger. Like the chances, the probability of like it working out, pretty fucking low. Because you'll always probably, or one of the two people probably will always be like, this person's a fucking stranger, what am I doing? This person's a stranger, what am I doing? Well, I thought it ended with them in their bed, together. I guess they got married, which is, it did bring tears nearly to my eye. Almost did cry, even though there are fantasy characters. Obviously you want, it's a happy ending, you want that to work out. And once again, shotgun weddings are very, I don't know, man. You have to be pretty fucking goddamn sure. But, or maybe not, you know, you could just fucking gamble. Who gives a fuck, I guess. And then in terms of, once again, Mickey not saying anything, at least as far as I saw, she never says anything to Gus about what she had done with her ex, with Dustin, which once again, because they were not an official couple, like that event really canonized probably their relationship, you know, solidified it for Mickey. And, you know, I mean, that's just a very embarrassing thing. And I don't know, like, there is a chance, yeah, sure, Gus might be miserable for a moment. I mean, they got into at least 2 or 3 fights or arguments, disagreements, but they were able to hash it out. So, and that's kind of a beautiful thing with love. So, I mean, as far as I know, once again, that is, hopefully the very ending of this. So, you know, Randy Randy knows he has to work on himself. Chris and Birdie, it seems like a very blossoming relationship. Birdie also mentions like chemistry, which, you know, I don't know, pheromones, I don't know how much of that kind of stuff really does play a part in love. Is it just probability? And probability in multiple different ways. I mean, just obviously by luck, but then there's deeper than that. I mean, just reducing the probability of breaking up when, you know, you're able to work together, figure things out together. You know, you already got your shit together. I mean, when you're just lessening the probability of like causing rifts or drifting apart. And then obviously just like, you know, you just find each other interesting, continue to find each other interesting in various ways. And it never gets, I mean, it could probably get dull. I'm sure it'll get boring, but once again, just working out whatever grievances there are, and, you know, is the love worth it? So, I mean, I don't know, my OCD thoughts or obsessive compulsive thoughts are telling me, like, you know, just end it with, you know, Gus's ends it on as a writer, but also potentially a director in the near future. You know, he wrote a script and tried making a movie. I mean, I'm sure he's not going to give up on that. Like, he's still pretty good friends with all his friends for the most. I don't think there's anyone that he's ended friends with. We got to see Mickey, or at least someone ending a friendship with somebody when you just when you just drift apart, when you just have nothing in common anymore, or just like, or maybe you have things in common. It's just like there's just too many differences. But she is now, she's been a producer for a very popular show, radio show, something a lot more, something a little bit, you know, a lot more real. I was just trying to think, like, a lot more relatable. I think that was the word I was trying to go for. Whereas with like Dr. Greg, it was kind of like talking about crude stuff, but like a lot of it was a lie, and where now it's just like completely out in the open, crude stuff, but like just real talk. Now with Birdie, she was doing some what seemed like either ballet or, you know, just like yoga, or so. I mean, who knows where we're going with that kind of stuff? But they didn't really, you know, I mean, that definitely, like, these were side characters. Same with Chris. Chris was just a guy, you know, he was just a friend that kind of just pops up out of nowhere as a more of a main side character later on in the series. But he was a cool guy through the entire series. So it was kind of interesting. I mean, if I were to watch it again, I mean, this is like, I think like second time watching it all the way through. If I were to watch it all the way through again, like right now, immediately, which I probably won't do, but yeah, I know, it's just interesting. So, Small Worlds, or it'd be Small World, I guess. I just like Small Worlds as in like they're different worlds. Like, I mean, especially with Birdie coming from Australia to here. And anyway, so. Oh, and I guess once again, Randy now, he's an actor or background actor. Maybe he'll just remain that. Who knows? At least he's got his life coming together. And then Chris, like I said, it seems to be becoming more of a stunt man, finally getting the dream that he wants. So they all seem to be kind of drifting towards their dream. So, and I that's a lot of it seems, I mean, once again, it's a goddamn TV show, but, but, you know, it's just doing the right thing. I mean, it doesn't mean you're always going to get fucking everything, but, it just at least feels fucking good.